Hey guys, what's up? Technologics here, and today we're looking at the iPhone 5S and whether or not it's still worth buying in 2016. So the iPhone SE came out. I have a review of that, by the way, if you want to check that out. And the price of the 5S has dipped significantly, so I've decided to give it a more modern review. If you haven't seen my videos before, please subscribe, as I do a ton of videos just like this one. But let's get started. First with some background. The 5S was released in 2013 and was basically a faster iPhone 5 with a newer option of Touch ID, which of course now is a necessity among smartphones. Released alongside it was the 5C, review that in the description below by the way, which was a more colorful plastic version of the 5 with no Touch ID. The 5S comes in the colors gold, silver, and space gray, and has a 4-inch screen, the same as the SE. This phone is absolutely beautiful, as are all Apple products, but it is significantly smaller than most newer phones. While this phone might be small, it still packs a big punch and is fast enough to run nearly anything with its quick A7 processor and 1GB of RAM. The iPhone 5 contained an A6 processor, and so did the 5C, putting the 5S a whole tier above both of those phones, and you will notice that it is significantly faster. The iPhone 5S has a Retina display with a resolution of 640 by 1136, which is nothing mind-blowing, but is still pretty darn good. It has a very nice 8-megapixel camera that can shoot 1080p, and a nicely sized battery that will compete well but fall just short of the iPhone 6 and 6S. You can get it in 16GB, 32GB, or 64GB iterations. 16GB is not a ton of space, and if you like taking photos and videos, I would go with 32. Even if you don't, you'll probably find 32 a lot more convenient because you won't have to worry about deleting stuff regularly. That's just my opinion though, do what you want. This phone has Siri, as all iPhones do since the 4S, and can run the latest version of iOS 9. It will run iOS 10 when that comes out, and it'll probably run 11 and maybe even 12, so support shouldn't be an issue for you. How does this stack up against the very newly released iPhone SE? Well, actually pretty well. The SE is basically the 5S body with a couple upgraded internals, nothing more. It has a better camera and almost twice the speed of the 5S, so that's pretty significant. But otherwise, I mean, it has an extra color in the form of rose gold, which is basically pink, so if that appeals to you, then you might want to go for the SE. If you don't like a small screen, don't get the 5S or the SE, go for the iPhone 6 or 6S, or wait for the 7 if you feel like paying for something completely overpriced. But yeah, you get the 6 or the 6S because you won't be satisfied with 4 inches if you're not used on small phones. The SE is $400 and the 5S is $200. Now the SE has speeds on par with the 6S and Galaxy S7, while the 5S is only around $200 used and is more on speeds with the Galaxy S5, I would say. The 5/4, I believe, in there. So if you've used one of those, but it's half the price. But is the iPhone 5S worth, $200? It totally is. It's a steal for a phone this good, and if you get it, there will be no reason you'd be unsatisfied, except maybe if you downgraded. You won't have any trouble playing most games and running apps for at least another year or two, and the 5S isn't going to get much cheaper than it already is. If you need a phone that you won't necessarily have to upgrade for a little while, this could be it for you. Of course, the SE will last longer, and it'll be a lot faster, but the biggest selling point of the SE over the 5S is indeed twice the speed. You gotta determine how much the speed of the phone matters to you. And when I say it's double the speed, I mean in benchmarks, if you know what those are. Basically, it has the ability to go double the speed of the 5S doing certain tasks. It won't always be double the speed. You probably, if you put them side by side and open Safari and stuff, the SE would be a bit faster, but probably not terribly faster than the 5S. Certain apps like games and things like that, the SE will have a lot better performance. If you're playing a 3D game of some sort, you're gonna see a lot better you're gonna see better quality on the SE. However, in everyday life, you're probably not even gonna notice too much or even any latency, so I wouldn't worry about it. But to bring up the value of the 5S again, my final answer for buying it would be why not? Especially if you're using either the 5C or the 5 right now, or even maybe a 4 or 4S, why not buy a 5S? It's cheap, you know. It's again, when it comes down to it, it's really cheap, and it's a nice phone, and it's gonna last you a few years. With probably not too much slowdown. You know, there will be some, but it'll run iOS 10 fine, probably 11. You know, it's going to be supported for a fair amount of time, and I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't want it. All I would say is if you're using an iPhone 6 or something like that, and maybe you're tired of the big screen, don't downgrade to the 5S, upgrade to the SE, because you will notice the slowdown if you go from like the 6 to the 5S. So I would say if you're on that boat, just go for the iPhone SE. So to conclude, it is perfectly acceptable in 2016, and it is not obsolete in any way. But what do you guys think? Do you have a 5S? Does it work for you? Do you have problems? Let me know. And as always, thank you very much for watching this video. Leave a like if you found this useful, and if you didn't, then, well, I guess leave a dislike, even though it might drive me farther into the dark pits of despair from which there is no escape. And subscribe if you want more content just like this. What do you guys want me to review next? Please tell me. I need to know. What do I review next? It's summer now, so I have time to make a lot more videos. Thanks, guys, for watching. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time.
Let it go.